I'm sorry, folks. I just came out this morning and went straight to work. I woke up around midnight and I had an idea on how to make these curved corners. And what I've done is I've just segmented them and they're glued in place. I'm using CA glue right now because this is just a core. And then I'll come and I'll backfill all the spaces with thickened epoxy and a nice fillet on the back, and I'll sand it to shape, and that will be fine. I tried to steam bend it. It was an unmitigated disaster, but the main section across the front, I didn't have to steam it at all. It bent really nice straight section here, and we'll go over to the other side. I've just started to put this side in, so I'll leave the camera on, and it's not much to it, just gluing and sticking, and then I'll cut a piece for the center segment.
Welcome back, folks. Glad you found us again this week. We're doing something a little different. Milled up some strips of wood out of Douglas fir, and I'm going to use these to create rain gutters that run all around the perimeter of the cabin top. The ones down the sides I've already attached, and now I've got to work on these corners. And as you saw in the little intro there, I woke up with a brainwave and decided just to cut up some little 1-inch pieces and tack them on, and I'll come back later and fill them in, and it's going to work pretty slick. So for those of you that were wondering, I'm using a CA glue, which is an acronym for cyanoacrylate, which is just crazy glue. And I'm using it here because I need to speed up production and get this moving along. We're dragging way behind. Anyways, it's a good choice. The gutter and the drip cap are not structural, and eventually they'll be tabbed into the cabin top, and the fiberglass will go all the way over the top and over. The stuff that's in the spray can is called an accelerator, and I think it's mostly composed of water, but anyways, what it does is you put the CA glue on the little tiddly bit and you spray some of the accelerator on the cabin top, and when you put the two together, they stick virtually instantly. You've got maybe a second to readjust position, and then it's not going anywhere. For the straighter sections of the gutter, we've fallen back to old reliable wood glue made out of wood flour, epoxy, and a little bit of cabosil. I'm getting a little smarter in my old age, cleaning up the squeeze out so I don't have to sand it off tomorrow. Brilliant. This curved section turned out to be a bit more problematic, and because it was a pretty radical curve of the cabin top, some of you will remember this area was affected by the bad epoxy incident we had probably about a month ago now. And when I glued it down, I came out the next morning when it was cured, and the one end had popped up because the glue didn't fail. The bond between the fiberglass and the plywood underneath failed, so I had to backtrack and fix that. Just another day in the life of building a boat. So now we're back on the trailing edge of the main cabin top, and it's almost exactly the same process as the forward edge, except it's straight across, which made things a little tiny bit easier. Just working with a bigger piece of wood, and that was a bit challenging to get everything clamped into place and dry fit and glued down. But anyways, this is how I got it done. The main cabin top has a pretty radical curve in it, or in naval architecture terms, that would be described as camber. And one of the reasons is that I chose a softwood. Well, there was actually two reasons. One, it's the only acceptable type of lumber that they had that was in 15-foot lengths, and second, it has a reputation for being hard to bend but somewhat flexible, so I wasn't exactly sure if I was going to have to steam bend this into shape, but as you see as we follow along here, that it went down pretty easily. Making the curves on the aft corners is exactly the same process that I used on the front. It just went a little smoother because I learned how to keep my fingers out of the CA glue this time. Brilliant.
Another beautiful day here in Eastern Ontario, folks. It's nice and cool this morning, so I'm out a little late, but we had a big adventure yesterday. Anyways, I'm working on the rain gutters and drip caps, etc., that surround the entire perimeter of the main cabin roof. And today I'm going to dress up some of the areas that I filled with thickened epoxy and around the edges, and contour and shape those. I'm hoping to eliminate issues down the road, kind of thing. And yeah, so I was out here the other day, and for the first 65.5 years of my life, I was always proud that, or bragged about having never been stung by a bee, a hornet, or a wasp, because I was really good at doing this kind of thing, right? Anyways, I was up here, and I just started to do a little bit of sanding, and I got stung by a little black hornet, tiny little bugger, right here on my wrist. It hurt like hell. Anyways, I swatted him off and then drop kicked him. I think that was in him, but eventually I was doing a bit more sanding and a few more showed up, and I looked underneath the cabin top and there was a little hornet's nest there, so I foamed their asses. They're gone. Anyways, there's one right here, and yeah, so my record has been broken. I've now been stung by a flying assassin. Anyways, so I'm going to get on with some sanding. I know it's boring, but enjoy my pain. This is the idea for the drip cap, and what it does is it extends down from the rain gutter, and it's 1 inch below the main cabin top. And what this will allow us to do is to affix our canvas enclosure on this inside portion, and that will extend down over the lazarette, and any rain that would happen to overspill the rain gutter would hit this drip cap and then hit the canvas and roll off the boat. Now, the rain gutter, which goes around the entire perimeter, is going to have a number of scuppers cut into here and cut through the rain cap, so that if any water pools on the cabin top, it will find a scupper and we'll direct it off the boat where we want it to go. Now, I don't exactly know where these spots are going to be that the rain will pool in, but once I get these all assembled, before I cut the scuppers, I'll flood the cabin roof with water from the garden hose, and we'll see where it lands, and we'll cut the scuppers, and Bob's your uncle. I'm gonna have to call this one, friends. I'm running out of time to be able to produce this video and get it published and on YouTube, and I'm just out of time. There's other things going on that I got to deal with, so this is where I'm at. Productivity's way down this year, but that's life. Life gets in the way. So from Lori and I and the little furry overlords that let us live in their house, we hope you're all well, happy, and safe. Cheers.